not want anybody to tell him what to do. That extends from the basketball floor off of it. Kyrie does not want anybody to tell him what to do. That extends from the basketball floor off of it. Kyrie does not want anybody to tell him what to do. That extends from the basketball floor off of it.
I only debate my equals. Finish that sentence for me in the comments section. Let's check this out.
He was given the opportunity to what would have satisfied the Nets, do you think here? What words, what answers?
There were two, and there were two that were missing from what we just heard. I'm sorry.
Sorry for what? This is what and we're going to make this interactive. Sorry for what? What is it that Kyrie Irving is sorry for? You want to know what's crazy? How many people know what race norming is that the NFL uses? If you guys know what race norming is, give me a thumbs up. If you don't know what race norming is, give me a thumbs down. Race norming is a practice that's still used by the NFL to this day. There's been multiple lawsuits about it. It's been used in the concussion payout calculations. And take a wild guess. What community is highly influential in that calculation? Oh, we'll go over that later. We'll go over that later. What up with it, Jared? Has the NFL ever apologized for race norming? Has Major League Baseball ever apologized for not allowing black people? Have any of these sports organizations ever apologized for not allowing black people? Shout out to my man Carlton Way. Race norming is highly anti-black. If one of the people in the comment section knows what race norming is, can you type it in, a brief description of what race norming is? Now, my question for you guys is, what is it that Kyrie is supposed to apologize for? Is he supposed to apologize for a tweet? I'm sorry, I tweeted something. Here's my question. Allegedly, as a result of this tweet, there was quote unquote damage to a particular community. What kind of damage was there? My question is, was the damage to that particular community that allegedly sustained damage from that tweet comparable to the alleged damage that particular community sustained when 11 black people were killed in Buffalo and that community got a hate crime bill behind it? That's what I want to know. Let me know.
That's what has put Kyrie in the spot that he's in. That's what the Nets desperately wanted to hear. That's what the league wanted to hear, Scotty. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't say that, and then he didn't, when given a chance, say, I don't have anti-Semitic beliefs.
So now this is what I want you guys to understand, and this is how it works. This is what's so dangerous about when it comes to us. Literally, one of these people, all they have to do is ask you something crazy. And if you don't respond, all of a sudden it's anti-Semitism. And make no mistake, when it comes to these people and when it comes to the rest of the world and when it comes to the white supremacy structure, this is always looked at as worse than anti-black racism. Anti-black racism is looked at not only by this community here, and I'll prove that, as expected and normal, okay? These people believe that anti-black racism is correct. You have to understand that when it comes to white people and when it comes to these people, they do not believe that these are stereotypes. They believe that these are truths. They believe that these are red pills, i.e. race realism, which is something that they had a hand in creating. So, you know, when white people sit there and say, well, we're all in this together as one race, and as a matter of fact, we're all in it together as one race against this group of people, ask those same white supremacists that say that, well, why do you get all of your race information about inferiority and superiority from books written by these people? Because those people are the ones that wrote the books, literally. And we're going to show that. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to shame them for it. And I dare somebody to say it's anti-Semitism. I mean, I don't give a fuck if they think it is or not. Because I'm black. And what matters to me is anti-black racism. If Kyrie says he doesn't hate anybody, he's answered the question. Would you guys agree? So now all somebody has to do is walk up to you and say, do you believe XYZ? And if you answer a certain way, or if you don't answer, then these people can woo, you're anti-Semitic. That's literally how this works. I don't really believe in the practice of circumcision. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it's a proper practice. I have scientific reasons and, you know what I'm saying, just other reasons. And for one, you know, I'm not part of that culture. So I don't think that culture's cultural norms should get pushed onto me. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if everybody can take a moment and smash that like button, that would be great.
Put him in the spot that he's in and put his future in Brooklyn and his short-term future in the league in doubt.
And so that's, I think a lot here, because you naturally go to the end, which is how does it end? And I'll start there, and then we could work our way around. Is this the last of his time in Brooklyn?
I think there's a very good chance. There are so many people within the organization who are so tired of the stuff off the floor. I think it's a reason why Steve Nash, we saw him in the last few months, dating back to last year, he was just like, oh, I can't believe I have to deal with all this. And day by day, Kyrie has eroded the trust within the organization. So I think as we sit here right now with...
So his tweet somehow contributed to him eroding trust in the organization. I need you guys to help me out with this. Can someone explain how? How does that work? Where's the logic behind that? This is just basically an exercise of I'm white and I say so. It's a speculation and a spectacle for the population at large, and for this particular mob, you know, it's a whipping boy exercise. It's flexing on people. It doesn't matter if you have money at all. We'll show you who controls the money by, if you have a lot of money, we'll take you down to zero at will. All we have to do is just ask you the right question. So somebody can get you on an interview and you can be talking about, you know, different candy, and they just happen to say, well, do you believe XYZ? And you say, well, I don't really, you know, discuss my beliefs. Oh, now we doubt if you're an anti-Semite or not. And there you go. But now pay very close attention to how it's normalized for anti-black racism. You know, we're the ones in the wrong if we expect people to not call us the N-word. We're in the wrong. Don't practice anti-black racism. What's wrong with you? Are you serious? There's literally these people, white people, Asians, Latinos, immigrants, they literally have an issue with us having the expectation that we shouldn't be subject to anti-black racism. And Kyrie actually said that in the interview. And shout out to everybody that's answering the Nightbot.
With this suspension ahead, there is a good chance he's played his last game.
I think so too, simply because I think Kyrie's demonstrated in many different respects.
When has anybody ever did their last anything as a result of anti-black racism? That's my question. I want everybody in the comment section. Now, if you get some white people in here, the very first and only thing that they'll say is Kramer. That's literally all they'll say. And then, you know, they'll wind up in the back and their head will spin around and they'll just keep spamming the chat and say Kramer. You know what I'm saying? But Kramer is still getting comedy gigs. Kyrie Irving is getting Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Remember when that incident happened with Will Smith? Who was leading the charge as to, quote unquote, what should happen to Will Smith? One of these people wrote the instructions out and said what they want to happen to Will Smith. And little black helpers like Wanda Sykes decided to just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Because WS don't work if there's no coons. There has to be coons. There has to be coons.
That he's not one to do what he doesn't wish to do. And the statement very specifically says that he's going to need to satisfy certain things. And it seems to me, and you'd know better being there day in and day out, that if you say to Kyrie, here's what you've got to do, that's where his heels get dug in even deeper. I just wonder.
I mean, why does he got to do that? Now, let me ask you a question. You know what the Constitution says? The Constitution says something that you got to do. And something that you got to do is allow religious freedom here in the United States. Last time I checked. So now let me ask you a question. Kyrie Irving is a foundational black American. Let's just say that he was watching this documentary to trace his roots. You know, white people, Asians, immigrants, Latinos, 23andMe don't work for us. Because of you all. Don't wake up, black people. Stay asleep. That's what you've been instructed. That's also what the Democrat Party is telling you. Vote blue, no matter who. And what does that rhyme with?
Would he ultimately say the things that he needs to say to remain there?
Nobody has the answer,
right.
And that's the issue.
And I'm not asking you,
Scotty,
just to be clear.
he doesn't want to conform.
Right, exactly.
You've got it exactly right.
There you go. So, I mean, I don't know if they accidentally slipped out and said that, but I mean, there you go. That is literally all this is about. He will not conform. When I had asked somebody earlier to go get me a white Republican, a white conservative, because we needed some information about the First Amendment, was anybody ever able to locate anybody? Was anybody ever able to locate a good red-blooded American? Because I got another question for him. In most cases, right, like when it came to the C-19 juice, isn't that something that they laud, not conforming? Ron DeSantis is a good red-blooded American because he's not making us conform. He didn't conform to the economic shutdown during C-19. He didn't conform. I mean, man, it should be some fireworks, hot dogs, and red, white, and blue all over the place for Kyrie, right? I mean, if Fox owns a blimp, it should definitely have a Kyrie poster hanging from it for not complying, right? Where is it? That's the question. See, you got to ask questions. People will eventually learn this. Never show all of your cards. Only ever ask questions. Because If you're asking the questions and not doing the talking, you're actually controlling the conversation. That's the reason why they nailed him on, well, can you answer this question? No, I won't answer this question. You won't answer the question. The reason why you won't answer the question must be because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable spot. So you're anti-Semitic. They're playing that game. Oh, you won't tell me where you were last night? That must be guilty of the crime. Do you believe that XYZ happened? Well, hey, I'm not an expert on German history. You must be anti-Semitic. Wait a minute. I just said I'm not an expert on German history. I mean, you got Americans who claim to be experts on American history who say white supremacy doesn't exist, never has existed, and that the United States was created with all men created equal. We literally have politicians that say that. And that's okay. No fines, no suspensions, no nothing. The world keeps turning and hell keeps burning.
I've covered him now for a year, day by day. Kyrie does not want anybody to tell him what to do.
There you go.
That extends from the basketball floor, off of it, on the.
Shout out to Kyrie. I mean, all of the things that this guy is complaining about. Hey, props, Kyrie. Nobody should want anybody telling them what to do. Again, isn't that the point of what white people claim they created the United States for? Individual freedom and rights. And that's what they claim. For some reason, though, that's what Kyrie is getting the business for. Which, what that tells you is that those rights and individuality, what they're doing is telling on themselves, and they're telling on themselves in the manner that now we know who this stuff is actually reserved for, and it's not for us. Thank you very much for revealing that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Maine, shout out to JB Easy, shout out to Katsy. Yeah, the ADL is absolutely the machine behind this. You guys remember when this whole thing first started out with Kanye, and I was like, the ADL's not your friend. Shout out to Zip. What up with it, bro? The ADL's not your friend.
The floor, it's helped him in his game. Off the floor, it's put him in a lot of positions through the years, kind of like this.
And there's, look, he's a brilliant basketball player. Everyone understands this. But if his time in Brooklyn is done, it means that there needs to be time for him someplace else. And you have the commissioner of the league who's very troubled by what's gone on to date as well. So I just wonder how, if he's toxic in Brooklyn, how does he become not toxic someplace else?
Because he's just that talented that you know that somebody's going to give him a chance.
Sure.
But the league is watching very closely, Scotty, and I don't see how Kyrie can get back on an NBA floor, whether it's Brooklyn or otherwise, unless he says, I'm sorry.
Well, then just don't get back on the NBA floor. Now, where did we fail in this situation? We should have a floor that we have created and sustained that Kyrie can showcase his talent on. In my opinion. My question is, generations after generations after generations after generations, I mean, do any of these NBA players ever think, hey, I'm tired of being mistreated. I don't want to deal with the NBA. Do you guys remember how upset white people were when LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and what was it? Was it Dwayne Wade? When they made that little whatever it was that they made, that trifecta, and they all played in Miami. Oh my God! Listen, man, the white people here in Northeast Ohio were going insane. They were pissed, livid. Do you guys hear me? Racial slurs all over the place. These motherfuckers was wilding out. And I'm a diehard Cleveland fan. You know what I'm saying? You know how you know somebody's a diehard Cleveland fan? Because they talk the worst shit about Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? That's because we're so frustrated with our sports teams being shitty. You know what I'm saying? So if you mess around and meet somebody from Ohio and they just talking hella shit about the Browns, hella shit about the Indians, that's Cleveland sports. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but they were so mad. They were mad. He's a traitor. Man, listen, let me tell you something. Cleveland are like losers. You know what I'm saying? We'd be happy if the Browns actually get a first down, or if they make a reception, or if they win a game, or if they show up. Shit. You know what I'm saying? All the motherfuckers on the field. Okay, that's a start. You know, it's that bad here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was burning jerseys, Jay. There's a place called Luigi's Pizza in Akron. They got a picture of LeBron James because LeBron James actually used to go there and eat. You know what I'm saying? The picture is broken and is still hung up behind the bar. When he came back to Cleveland, they put the picture back up. But when he left, they broke the picture. This is a dude that's from Akron. He's from Akron. He literally resurrected the entire Cleveland and Akron metropolitan area economy. And he said, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all suck. Dan Gilbert, shout out to this community, doesn't want to pay to get me a good team. I'm out. I'm about to get with some other players. We're going to kick it in Miami and win a couple championships with a good manager like Pat Riley. I'm not mad at that. Yo, me, because of how I am and my rebellious nature, I was like, man, hell yeah, LeBron. Man, that's what's up, man. You done pissed all these people off. You know why? Because you took your destiny into your own hands, and it ain't nothing they can do about it. No amount of whining, no nothing. They don't have no handcuffs to keep you here. Man, he just said, you know what? Deuces. Summer in Miami. I'm taking my talents down there. Just beware Courtney Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Just pearly gates. Be careful. But going down to Miami, have fun on the yacht, win you a couple championships. I was happy. People couldn't understand why I was happy. I said, because, man, he just shat on everybody. That's why. And ain't nothing nobody can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. Man, I thought from that moment that more players would be empowered. You know what I'm saying? And they would be like, look at this, man. LeBron James just set the tone. And he just basically told all these people, F you. But that didn't happen. Fast forward to 2022. A former teammate of LeBron is now dealing with this. Instead of getting a job as a commentator for the NBA, why don't all of these retired NBA players crowdfund Ice Cube to build a basketball league that actually honors a contract with Black America so that you don't have to deal with crap like this? Here's my question. Is it a failure to evolve? Or is there something in the contract that doesn't allow that to be what the money is used for? Because why, when it comes to anybody that's in this media matrix, whether it's rap, whether it's athletics, whether it's entertainment, they never fund projects like that? Do you notice that? Is that a pattern? Pattern recognition is key. Especially when you're dealing with a matrix. Because if you guys know what a matrix is nothing but mathematical patterns. The Democrat media never encourages people to do stuff like that either. Yeah, they won the championship. Man, I was so mad. I thought the Cleveland Indians was going to win the championship that year too, and then they dumbasses got their asses whooped by Chicago, man. Chicago ain't won a damn World Series in 100 years until they came to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for another day.
For the pain my posts caused to a lot of people. And on top of that, I don't have anti-Semitic beliefs. And now it's a power of wills between the NBA.
Why is it that every single white person in the United States has never had to profess that they don't have anti-black sentiments? In my opinion, as a result of what the United States has not only done to foundational black Americans, but what they've done and encouraged to be done to black people worldwide, every American, every non-foundational black American should have to profess that as part of a citizenship requirement for America, as far as I'm concerned. You are an American. If you're a non-black American, you're rooted in the systemic racist legacy of the United States. If you're a foundational black American, you're rooted in the systemic racist abuse of the United States. Anybody that comes to this country, we should have a full pledge that those people do not have those beliefs and those intentions on coming here as a result of what the United States has set up and encouraged for them. That's part of the postcard to come to the United States. You'll always have a bottom class that you'll be better than. Capitalism. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how it works. Other communities are highly prioritized and more important than us, according to the population at large, according to the media, and according to the popular narratives. I mean, you see it right here. I shouldn't just have to go around and ask a bunch of, listen, man, most white people that I come in contact with are probably white supremacists. I don't just push up on every white person and say, do you hold anti-black racist beliefs? For one, I don't have time for that shit. For two, as long as you're containing that shit over there, go ahead about your business. I'm not going to be dealing with you anyway, unless I got to straighten you out. So why these people can just go and push up on everybody and say, hey, do you believe that I'm the chosen person of this mythological religion? Because let me tell you, you guys know I'm not religious. When it comes to the lineage part of things, that's something that can be proven and traced with records. But when it comes to the mythological aspect and chosen people and this, that, and the other, you guys know how I feel about that kind of stuff. But now if we're talking about lineage, again, when it comes to this particular group of people, you got to explain to me at what time, in what story were these people in North Africa, and the Arabian Peninsula? When were they there? When were Europeans in Bethlehem? And why do we keep having to go over this? And how is that question anti-Semitic? And another question about this, again, like I said, if we're going through lineage, this is dealing with Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, Judah, Shem, Ham, Cain, Abel, Noah. Shit, we're dealing with a lot of different people here, and that spans the entire Abrahamic spectrum. There was no outrage from the Muslim community because Ishmael's lineage is in question on this video about from Negroes to Hebrews, and so is Isaac. So I mean that really kind of shows you who controls the holy trinity of the religions. If you sit back and look at it, who makes the most noise? I mean, there's three religions involved, and one religion is getting, they were about to get $1 million and all kinds of apologies and buck dancing and all of this. If I was a Christian or if I was a Muslim, I'd actually be outraged at this community that they didn't acknowledge the claims made against the lineages of Isaac, Judah, and Ishmael. And we're only talking about one lineage here because this video goes over all of those lineages. Why don't the other lineages matter? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. What I just said is the predecessor of black people not mattering. And when I tell you guys, it literally is the world against foundational black Americans, that is the ancient predecessor of where we are today.
Right. And him.
Kyrie Irving.
Well, the commissioner has said he would like to meet with Kyrie Irving. I mean, at some point in the days or weeks to come, you'd have to imagine that would happen. And then where things go, I'm not asking because who could possibly know? So I know it's been a long day, and I appreciate the context and the time. Obviously, you're in town for the Nets. They play the Wizards tomorrow night without Kyrie Irving. Nick, thank you very much. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube.
Shout out to Dr. John Henry Clark. You guys know I was messing with TD yesterday on Just Talkin', and if you guys are not subscribed to Just Talkin', make sure that you guys subscribe to Just Talkin'. I only debate my equals. Finish that sentence for me in the comments.